Okay, um, we've got governors going crazy about the bug, the coronavirus 19, COVID 19, the thing that practically doesn't really do anything to a great degree to most people, but they're freaking out. What's really going on? Let's shove aside the news, shove aside the fear that is being pushed. If for any of you who have been around for a while, and have seen, go back to George Bush Jr., he was a puppet. He was the president back, I don't know, 16 years ago, or I think he got 2 terms. And this guy was hated by many people. Just, people's anger was pointed at him, dislike and disgust. But many people didn't realize that there are puppet masters behind the curtain. And George Bush Jr. was just a puppet on the stage for people to throw rotten tomatoes at. And he contributed to the progress of those who were behind the curtain at the time, his puppet masters. People hated him, but the puppet masters were trying to make some progress. Now we look at today, this COVID 19 thing. We have these governors like Michigan, New Jersey, New York, California, and wherever other tyrants are located. And these, it looks like they are also puppets, and there are puppet masters behind the curtains. And these puppets are being used just like George Bush Jr. was used. They are hated, looked upon with disgust, and just things like that. But the puppet masters are using them to make their progress. And I think they're kind of concerned because they want to bring in a cashless society. Seems to be a lot of people, there seems to be a shortage of coins lately, which may be due to the fact that they cost a lot more to make them than they're actually worth. What does it cost? I don't know, 5 cents to make a penny? They've ruined the money that bad. And they're also concerned about, all this debt, obligations they have made through pensions and 401ks and the IRAs or whatever, these things. They're kind of concerned if they ruin all this US dollar, what's going to happen? Are people going to be upset? What do you think they're going to be? But these puppet masters have their plan. They have their things going on. And so, yes, get rid of Witless. Get rid of her. She knows she's a puppet. She probably knows at least some of the puppet masters, at least the people between her and the puppet masters. Get rid of her. She's nasty. That's true, because she's carrying out, she probably thinks she's got a little place in control of power, and that she'll have when there's more control of the population. And imagine if Biden or some freak like that got in 2020. Starting early in 2021 as president, they're gonna shit all over, primary language, all over things. Now Trump, he has to make deals because they would have probably done things to him where he wouldn't have been the president. When I say they, the powers that be. So he makes deals, but he has done some good things. Now, so I feel sorry for the American people if they vote Biden in or some freak, which they might. Now, as you know, it's been proven that your emails have been being read by the NSA, National Security Agency, and other things like that. And your phone calls have been tapped. Uh, the your I guess T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever companies, Verizon, especially Verizon, they gave all your information privacy to the government. And it's a violation of one's privacy, and they did it. They got caught, and I don't think really much happened to them. Might have gotten fined, who knows? Maybe they got themselves let off, or something. But they're still doing it. They're still doing it. When you're on the internet and you're checking out toothbrushes or something like that, you start getting ads about toothbrushes because you're being because you're I'm not going to go into a great deal, but the people who are sending you ads about toothbrushes, they know you are looking at toothbrushes. They know what you're looking at. They know what you look at and what you buy. So if you're looking at a bunch of porn, they know this guy he likes looking at porn. And they know what your work, they know your bank account, they know a lot of things. So you might want to consider, just like you have the Google browser, Google Chrome browser. A browser is something that you use, to do go on the internet so you can look at internet sites. You might want to check into this thing called Tor browser. Another name for it is Onion browser. You might want to do that because it makes it harder it can make it much harder for those trying to figure out who is actually looking at the sites that you look at, because it's a it was this, I'm not going to go in detail, but mainly I recommend it. And your messages, your text messages, oh boy, how these computers must be overheating, scanning through all the text messages that people send. There are things such as Signal and other types of messaging apps which may or may not provide privacy for you. And there are email addresses, there are emails addresses, email providers you can get through Tor, the Tor browser, that work with the Tor browser that will make it much harder for your emails to be read by people who shouldn't be reading them. So, and there's I think there's one called Proton Mail, and there's other various things also. Not to say that these are not been hacked or have connections where the governments can look into them, but they are supposedly not been corrupted by that. So anyway, what it comes down to is that you have a giant computer. Some people might call it Skynet, which knows everything that's going on and can track and trace how people, what they buy, what they're up to, where the freaking mice are going down which aisle of the rat maze right now, and what they're going to do probably if this thing occurs over here. They're letting the riots go on. It's a big scam. Everything's a freaking scam. Facebook is a freaking leech. Twitter's a leech. Instagram's a leech. You love Facebook, don't you? Oh boy. And anyway, I think the Zuckerberg, the guy in charge of, at least the guy who's put up in the front as the puppet master, he called people who use Facebook and put their private information on there, he called them stupid fuckers. So I think that's what he said a while back. Anyway, there's a quick thing. If you have a governor who's pulling stuff, you need to recall this person. Recall means to vote for the removal of a person in government, a government position, such as governor. So that's what recall means. You can remove that person. You can also get rid of the emergency powers that a governor has, such as, I order you to wear your mask, and if you don't, we're gonna fine you, and we're gonna pull those pants down, and you know the rest. Um, so I think I heard in Laredo, Texas, I guess. I think I read it that if you have coronavirus and you come positive and you leave your house, I guess without a mask on, you can be prosecuted with a felony. Oh, really? This thing is not. It's not doing anything. I mean, people dying from it are practically dead already. Anyway, the purpose of it is to control the population, see how far they can knock them down, and see how much they'll take. Anyway, there you go. Have fun.